Very good morning, dear students. Hope you are safe and sound. Dear students, today I am going to restart the chapter Resources and Development. And as usual, there are four very important questions going to describe and discuss with you. So first question is, give one example each of potential resources, stock and reserves. You know that everything available in environment that can be used to satisfy our need is a resource. But we can divide resources into various categories on the basis of various factors. So potential resources, stock and reserves, so these are also different kind of resource. So I'm going to give example of each resources. So state of Rajasthan and Gujarat are having potential to develop wind and solar energy. Stock. Stock is actually a special kind of resource that is actually not a resource right now, but in future that can be used as a resource. Take example of hydrogen. You know that water is a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. Also, there is possibility that one day we can extract hydrogen from water, and after extracting hydrogen from water, we can use it as a fuel. But now it is not possible because we are not having such technology, but in future we may have technology and we can extract hydrogen from oxygen available in water. So this type of resource can be known as a stock. Reserve is also a special kind of resource, and reserve refers to those resources which can be used as a resource but we don't use it as a resource. For example, there are million liters of water in dam, and there are million of plants in forest that we are not using today as a resource, but we can use it as a resource in future, so we have kept it as a reserve. So these are three example of potential resources, stock and reserve. Now I'm going to describe question number 2. Why did human being used resources indiscriminately? Write 3 environmental problems caused by it. So dear students, you know that few people said that resources are free gifts of nature. As people started to use natural resources indiscriminately, people who were greedy and those people who were influential, wealthy and rich, so they accumulated resources of the world within their hand. Okay, and it also led to global warming and depletion of ozone layer and land degradation. So when people thought that resources were free gift of nature, so people started to use resources indiscriminately, that led to various kind of problem. So first was depletion of resources, second was accumulation of resources within hand of few individuals, and next one is global warming, ozone layer depletion and land degradation and various kind of environmental problem. Now I am going to describe question number 3. How do you see Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit in the context of sustainable development? So Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit was first international Earth Summit that was held in the year of 1992 in very famous city Rio de Janeiro of Brazil. Okay, so that meeting was held to discuss on sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is a concept that tells us that development should not go on by damaging future. Development is based on the idea of development without damaging future. So first International Earth Summit was held in 1992, and that summit was held to discuss urgent problems of environmental protection. Okay, so in that meeting and in that convention, that was organized by United Nations. So more than 100 world leaders participated in that convention, and they discussed on various issues regarding environmental problem, and they also decided to adopt Agenda 21st in that convention. Therefore, Earth Summit of Rio de Janeiro is very, very important in the context of sustainable development. Next one is enumerate 5 important features of Agenda 21st. Agenda 21st is known as Agenda 21st because it was decided by countries of the world to adopt and to achieve few things in 21st century. Okay, so actually it was adopted in first International Earth Summit held in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, in which world leaders signed on the declaration at United Nations Convention on Environmental Development, and that agenda aimed at achieving global sustainable development. In that Earth Summit, leaders of the world decided to achieve global sustainable development, and they also decided to combat and fight environmental damage, poverty, and disease through global cooperation. So they decided that they would fight against poverty, they would fight against disease, they would fight against environmental damage with their cooperation, with global cooperation. And they also decided to draft local Agenda 21st for every country that participated in first International Earth Summit 1992. It means that India was told to draft its own local Agenda 21st, and Sri Lanka was told to draft its own local Agenda 21st, and Bangladesh was told to draft its own local Agenda 21st. So these are 5 very basic and important features of Agenda 21st. So Agenda 21st was adopted in first International Earth Summit 1992, and it was signed by more than 100 world leaders, and it was signed at United Nations Convention on Environmental Development. It aimed at achieving global sustainable development, and it also aimed to combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation. And it was also decided first that every country would draft its own local Agenda 21st that would be achieved in 21st century. So this is all about question number 4. I hope that you understood.